You are now listening to the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hi, this is Tony Meaches.
Hi, and this is John Matthews.
And we are the co-hosts of the podcast Imprintcast, the podcast dedicated to the Australian boutique label Imprint Films.
Yes, if you want to know everything related to imprint or in the imprint world, this is the podcast for you as we cover announcements and also upcoming releases from the imprint lineup.
Yes, and we are not the only hosts on this show. We also have family members. They include Suzanne Boleyn, Paul Berryman, Jim Mulvihill, as well as Ryan Kendall.
Also joining us are content creators who contribute to the imprint releases, doing commentaries, essays. They're actually on the show discussing the releases they worked on via deep dive episodes covering various titles.
You can also watch our videos on certain episodes with the content creators as well as us, as well as the family members. And of course, you can always listen to this podcast wherever you listen to your podcast and our YouTube channel, Imprintcast.
And don't forget, Imprintcast is a part of Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hello there, and welcome back.
What is this place?
Disconnected.
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 I'm starting to feel disconnected.
You have reached a number that has been disconnected.
Hey, all, live for the first time in a long time with the one and only Master Chaos. Jose, welcome back.
Thank you, brother. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. It has been a minute, and look, to celebrate, I poured myself a little pumpkin ale to celebrate the occasion. I'm ready to talk movies, baby. Let's do it.
Pineapple coconut on this end.
Hey, that's fine. That's good. That's good too.
Last time you were on the show, I believe, was actually a live show with a few fairly famous faces, we'll say. One, Mr. Doug Bradley, being one of my big ones there.
Yes, yeah. I can't believe that. Well, that was such a long time ago. Dang. Yeah. That was a good time, and I have good news. Actually, we're getting ready to do the sequel. So.
Amazing.
It's kind of apropos to be here. Yeah, we're ramping up on part 2.
With the movie that was already called The Exorcists, do you just put an apostrophe at the end? Or?
We're gonna go Exorcist SES. Or maybe with a Z. No, I think we're just gonna Exorcist 2, and I'm thinking of something clever like The Heretics with a Z.
Nice, nice.
So yeah.
Can it be Exorcist in the Hood with the Z?
Yeah. It could be. It could be. The problem is the asylum doesn't let me have that much fun.
It's the Habit Hood in the hood. that kind of works.
I might pitch that. We'll see where it goes. I'll let you know. You'll get a special thanks if that happens.
Amazing. Yeah, I live for the puns. Yeah, it's been a long time. You have drastically changed your life. I've drastically changed mine. So tonight we get to talk about the joys and woes of filmmaking, because you've been through it a few times over the last handful of years.
Absolutely, and it's a conversation that you don't really get to hear a lot, because most people pull back. But yeah. I'm one of those guys. I'll give you warts and all.
Same, absolutely. And on that point, we get to cover making the film. We get to talk about distribution. We get to talk about the Sony crap that's been causing some problems in everybody's mind over the last couple of weeks, and for multiple reasons. I mean, pulling digital licenses and then announcing the PlayStation thing. Yeah, that's a big change. So we'll get into all of that, of course. But first, tell everybody what you're doing on YouTube every so often still.
Well, right now, inspired by you, because you were sort of the one to sort of set that weekly show with this current show that we're on right now. And I'm like, man, kind of want to do what Ryan does. I think it'd be kind of fun to have a talk show kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I do Tuesdays After Dark, which you've been a guest on. And it's essentially a riff of this. We talk physical media, but then we sort of have a bigger discussion on whatever's going on in the world. And then every once in a while I have a special guest on, but it's mostly sort of I kind of see it as, at least my approach is the Conan O'Brien of the physical media talk show space. That's what I'd like to do anyway. That's my goal.
It's a good goal, and it's one that there are lots of communities out there. It fits. It is something that a lot of people turn to and need and find solace. I mean, the big thing is a lot of this physical media in 2026 can be quite insular, and so finding other people to share the joy in that is necessary. I mean, 20 years ago we'd maybe meet at a bar after work to discuss it, but nowadays this is the bar. This is the hangout.
This is the hangout, and you could do it in your underwear. You could do it eating whatever you want, and it's the best. I'm currently in my underwear, just so everybody knows.
I'm glad you got the email and found out that was a requirement.
Right. It's weird. By the way, every guest on this show is in their underwear. Ryan 100% asks for that, so I did it for you.
It works. I'm just glad that you went with the frilly ones like I wanted. All right, so let's talk about a few things. Recently, you spent some time in Japan. What were you doing?
Family trip. Japan's been on my bucket list forever. To answer R. Hilton, I have a big video coming up. I have to edit. It's taking some time. Obviously, 7 days of subscriber week has taken my effort YouTubing. So now that that's done, I can focus on this. I did buy physical media, but not what you think. So big video coming explaining all that. But went to Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, and it was an amazing kind of culture shock experience. It's, Tokyo and Japan in general isn't really what you think it is. It's very much like if you've been to New York or LA, and you've basically been to Japan. Except there's, the language is different, but I was just shocked how, wow, it just really just feels like another city, which is nice because it didn't feel, like we didn't go in any onsens and we didn't have the rice paper screens and all that stuff. We didn't get to do all that because that's out in the villages. But I don't know. I maybe I was expecting something else, but ultimately I had a great time. And big video coming soon.
I am very curious to check that out, and I'm very curious now to hear about the physical media, but not what you think. That's always exciting. All right,
let's wait and see.
Let's discuss some other things. What have you been watching lately? Have you already been able to see Evil Dead Burn yet?
No, I have not. Actually, I'm gonna wait on that, mainly because my daughter just got cast for Halloween Horror Nights here in Hollywood.
Nice.
For Universal, and we don't know what maze she's gonna be in. And there's a rumor that there's gonna be an Evil Dead maze. So currently she's in New York. She's doing a Broadway camp kind of thing. So when she comes back, we'll watch the Evil Dead movie, and then if she gets that maze, at least she'll know what happens in the movie. I mean, research is important for an actor. So we're holding off on it. So it'll be a week before I get to it.
Very interesting. I don't know when I'm going to get to see it. I happened to be able to talk to the director of the next Evil Dead movie earlier this year, and he let me in on some tidbits. So I've been very curious since then to hear about it.
I know you can't say anything, but do these all connect? I mean, is there like a through line?
Not exactly, especially because they've revealed that Evil Dead Wrath, which I thought that was supposed to be out next year, but now some of the online trades are saying it might even be 2028, so who knows when.
Oh.
But the big thing is that one they have revealed is set in the 70s, and I don't believe Burn or Rise were anywhere near that. I believe those were both fairly contemporary takes, so not sure.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah,
interesting.
Very weird. Very curious to see all of them, though. Excited for it. So yeah, what have you been checking out?
Let's see. I've been, because of Japan, I've sort of been laser focused on anime, so I'm just kind of binge watching anime on Crunchyroll and Netflix. That's sort of been my focus for the time. Theatrically, I saw Disclosure Day and Supergirl, both that honestly were very disappointing to me. Crushingly so, and I think that's the most recent. Well, I saw The Furious before I left for Japan, and that was exciting. But it was one of those movies where I don't know. This is gonna sound ridiculous, but I almost felt like it had too much action. I mean, it was to a point where I'm like, oh my god, are we still going? How is that guy still alive? But it was, it was a hoot. So definitely recommend that one.
The Furious was fun. I feel bad because I saw it a few months ago at a festival here in Kansas City, and everybody now is asking about the dub. And I guess there was a weird thing that they dubbed everybody's voice in something and maybe changed the mouth movements with AI or something. I don't know about the exact technicalities of it yet, but something like that. And I couldn't recall seeing it, but I think I was just blown away by the action the entire time. And to be fair, it is kind of nonstop. And so I'm watching hands and fists and trying to read subtitles and not really noticing it. So
that happened to me. I mean, I didn't have a dub. Mine was subtitled, but yeah, it's like, I mean, luckily it's like, ouch, oh, ah. So you don't necessarily have to read the plot. You get what's going on. But, yeah, that movie, those guys, like, a round of applause for those guys. They nearly killed themselves just for our entertainment.
Some of the best in the game. They are crushing it. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel awful. It has been such a busy week, and we had a death in the family. I've not been able to watch anything. So, yeah, no updates for me on that end. But, of course, it's a physical media show. What have you been picking up? Anything that you want to share?
You know, well, Subscriber Week just happened, and I wasn't going to buy anything. I told my wife because Japan sort of sucked a lot of my money away, but I ended up grabbing a couple things. There's a new AGFA release. It was like Juvenile Delinquent triple feature. I grabbed that. I didn't buy it, but I was sent a review copy from Imprint, their Juvenile Delinquent box set, which is exceptional. Really recommend that. That's really good.
I need that one.
Yeah, it's really great. Let's see. And I really wanted to partake the Criterion sale, but I pretty much got everything I wanted during the Criterion website sale, which is like February, I think. And I picked up Killers of the Flower Moon, and The Man Who Wasn't There, which is like my absolute favorite Coen Brothers movie. It's very underrated, but I think it's just an exceptional movie.
It's a great movie. Absolutely a great movie. And yeah, I've got a couple things I wanted to show. Some that I've not seen anybody really talking about yet, but the big one, it's Criterion time. And I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago, but I don't know if you know about this. Trainspotting, the 4K got re-released, different packaging, and they actually... They went through the trouble and reauthored the disc. It has a fully different encoding, different studio logos, like everything is done properly. The first release for this did not look great. And so what sucks is if you got the first release, if you loved the movie, you might want to replace it, because this is like, everybody hated the packaging. Not only did they fix that, the disc is different, which is very rare, especially from Criterion.
Wow. Well, I guess it makes it collectible then for those folks who kind of need every version of something. But that's crazy. I had not heard that.
And then a couple other smaller things. Speaking of martial arts and the Furious, I got Lone Samurai from Welgo, which I always want to give them kudos when they put out something decent. Their 4K discs are usually decent and pressed. I just don't like how they're doing a lot of Amazon exclusive mod discs lately, and they just burn something and kind of chat it out, basically.
Wow.
The next one, got to give some love to Sony, I guess, every once in a while. They put out Richard Pryor stand-up on 4K, and I've been waiting for a decent price for this. And there are regional coupons that keep happening on Amazon, and got this for like 30% off, which can't complain at that point. It's at least an okay price. And then this has been in my wish list since we wrote about it in the magazine, but finally got in Diane Keaton's Heaven, in memory of Diane, who died last year. And yeah, decent week for pickups.
You know, I've always been wanting to watch that movie. You just reminded me to move it up on my list. I'm gonna add that now, actually. Heaven. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Nice.
Excellent.
Other than that, what is coming up on your channel? Anything else that you want to highlight? Any films recently you want to talk about?
Coming up on the channel will be Tuesdays After Dark, kind of around the same time as yours, around 6 p.m.-ish. And then there's a long-running review series that we do called Voyage to the Bottom of the Barrel, where me and my co-host, we sort of take two similarly themed films that are, considered the worst kind of movies ever made, and then we just dissect we try to basically torture ourselves with some of the most interesting cinema out there, thanks to Tubi, mainly. So Voyage, that's ongoing once a month. It's on a different channel every month because every host has their channel. So those are basically my two main shows. And then the first of the month, I cover the Vinegar Syndrome Live reveals, because that's just always fun to do. And like, as you know, that seems to be where the audience is at. If I do Seven, I do Arrow, but they don't bring the audience that VS does. There's a fervor for them. Yeah.
Still, after everything over the last few years, it's unending. Everybody's still there. Are you still subscribing at the moment?
No, I stopped years ago. I mean, my last subscription year was rough. It was Cardona Volume 1 and oh my God, she was Camille Keaton, the Camille Keaton box set. Not a fan.
That name many times.
Yes, not a fan. And she's a lovely woman, but the movies were not great. So I was like, I think I'm good. I've tapped out, and so now I just kind of buy what I want. Like, look,
yeah,
say what you will, but I paid full price for Mac and Me. I needed that. But I get, and I think the beauty of having a community that enjoys cinema is that everybody has different tastes, and I think that's just kind of what makes it so special, that we can all still get along even though we don't love the same movies, and that's cool. That's fine. That's art, baby. And that, as a filmmaker, you love to hear that. You love to hear that.
And not only that, I know that there are some people that complain when I say it, but somebody out there loves the Camille Keaton box set. Somebody out there loves Last Gasp. Somebody was so
I like it.
They announced that.
I like Last Gasp. I mean, it's decent. I don't hate it. Some other things, but for sure, I agree.
The other thing, I'd love to hear, just what are you thinking about VS in 2026? Are you glad you're not subscribed this year?
Last year was rough. Last year was like, this is, I mean, no hate for Larry Fessenden, but like, come on, man. We don't need these many box sets. Release, all 4 in one box set. Don't spread them out. And it just felt weird to me. The Troma stuff, I like the Troma stuff. I don't need to own the Troma stuff. So I knew it was like, okay, 2025 was really rough. 26 started out with a bang because I love Demon Warp. It's an incredible movie. But the rest of the year has been kind of whatever for me. So I'm very happy I'm not subscribed. And I think most of the fun of our live shows is that it's mostly people, kind of complaining. And it's kind of nice to just sort of like hang and like, okay, I'm saving money this month. What else is there to buy? I love that. That's just fun for me.
With the subscription thing, obviously, there's the talk of the things like the Fessenden. That's been my biggest question, is if you're going to do a lot of that, which I happen to love Fessenden. I've loved pretty much all of his movies. I'm glad that we have them. Did I need them on 4K? Probably not. But that being said, if you're going to do it, even if you have to, like, due to cost, break them up like that, do one in February and then one in October. Why do them 2 months back to back? That's going to feel very samey. And I got to ask the same question about the Pink line. Why are they all Sato so far? Like, it's not a Sato line. Let's at least break it up a little bit.
That's a good point. I'm a big fan of the Pink line. I've gotten everything so far, but you're right. There are other filmmakers out there and other movies that we can maybe branch out, because it does feel a little too much the same.
Literally hundreds of other movies. Come on, literally probably hundreds of other filmmakers. I mean, it's at this point, how many volumes are we going to get in before we see a second filmmaker?
I don't know, man. It depends. Like, maybe they got like a shit ton of these movies, and like, we gotta blow through these before we can get to anything else. Maybe there's like, I don't know. They have a deadline. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Well, and Brendan says, I want every single Sato personally. I do as well, but break it up at least a little bit. I mean, that would, if you've got 8 volumes worth, do 2 and then somebody else, or do 1 and then somebody else, and at least, break up the monotony at least a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm also not stoked on the other like 4K upgrades. A lot of us have been collecting for a long time. We watch these movies on every single format for the most part. I don't really need upgrades on every single title.
100%. It seems like it's a Shout Factory, Scream Factory re-release line at this point, and I mean, I get it for some things, but come on, dude, the Mangler? Jeez. I mean, I actually just rewatched that because I'm like, I think I like this, and dude, it does not hold up.
I'll defend that
Rough.
one. It's a master of horror. Like the big directors, pretty much all of them should be in the best format.
I get that. You got King and Hooper. I get it. But the re-release things, the upgrades, it does nothing for me. And if you look at the breakdown for the rest of the year, it always says UHD debut. I'm like, I know what that means. Don't do that anymore. It's frustrating, man.
Well, speaking of frustrating and 4K upgrades, let's get to our announcements for the week. The first one is a 4K upgrade. August 31st, we're getting a 4K Blu-ray dual format release of The Abominable Snowman from Hammer Films in the UK from 1957. This has, as usual, all kinds of bonus features plus a giant book. This is one of their big box sets, the big black slipcover, big giant slip box on the inside. This is going to have two iterations of the film, the widescreen 235:1 UK theatrical version, and then the widescreen US theatrical version that was retitled The Abominable Snowman of the Himalayas. Brand new 5.1 mix for both versions. Pretty much subtitles for all of the languages for people that could want this for the most part. Double-sided poster, rigid inner box with new artwork, 8 art cards, and a 120-page book. And I got to say, the Hammer books, have you collected any of the giant box sets from them yet?
No, man, these are too big for me.
Not only is that what she said, but also these books are... These books are like some of the best in the game. The writing in these have been truly incredible. Definitely want to shout out if you love Hammer, if you love these old gothic horror, these are ones that you should probably check out if you're into it. But I totally get it. Shelf space is rough.
Yes. I mean, I actually really like that movie. But I love you, Corinne. It's just I can't justify a massive box for one movie, honestly.
Absolutely. Okay, so all kinds of new extras on this. We got multiple new commentaries, new audio essays, including one from Stephen R. Bissett, who's great. New documentaries. We've got all kinds of archival extras. Hammer, of course, has a fairly extensive archive that they've got stuff for on this. Plus, the book has new articles by all kinds of names that you recognize from all of these releases. It is a fully region-free release, so even the Blu-ray discs are region-free. Check it out if you are into it. Now... let's go back to this one. How are you feeling about Vinegar Syndrome putting out the Reviver line, which means they announce a title, you pre-order, and you can't know anything about it other than some vague clues. This one basically said, hey, these are short films. So if you're going to check this out, this is a cultivated cabinet of curiosities containing the weirdest and wildest short films from within their archive. You've got information like a profane film, a musical film that's presented silently, which, okay, that's odd. Stop-motion kids film, sex comedy film and its sequel, psychedelic film, comic book superhero. Like, we don't know almost anything about these, and they're all shorts. Are you immediately grabbing things without knowing the titles?
Man, remember that Lost Picture Show box set they released like 3 years ago, and that's still in stock? Reviver is basically that. They realize, wait a minute, why are we putting them in a box set when we can release all of these individually and make 3 times as much money? This is what these are. I got the first one out of curiosity because it was at the time it was at 1,000. Then they added some more. I thoroughly disliked the first one, and I said, you know what? If I miss out on something amazing, I miss out on something amazing. And yeah, I heard the second one was really good. And it probably something I would have enjoyed. But I've decided I'm not buying into Reviver anymore. And this specifically, I've got nothing against short films. That's how filmmakers cut their teeth. That's how you practice. But I have no interest in watching them. Specifically, a musical that is silent. I think that seems, torturous. So I'm passing on Reviver in general. It did not does not hit for me. What about you?
I am all in on this one. I, on the other hand, adore short films and seek them out to a problem, perhaps. I think I have playlists saved of literally like hundreds of short films to be able to watch. I was all in on this one, and I'm most excited about this out of all three so far.
Wow. Well, I hope it's good.
Even if it's not, I'll be glad I got to see it. This one, very curious on your take on this one. The VSP line, they have released I Live Here Now, brand new film from their Vinegar Syndrome Presents or production, whatever the P stands for, I never remember. This brand new film, which is from 2025, is about a struggling Hollywood actress haunted by memories of an invasive childhood trauma, of course. This one is going to be shot entirely on film and finished in 4K and then released on Blu-ray. Commentary with the director, Julie Pacino. Q&A from the U.S. premiere in September 2025 at the American Cinematheque, Los Feliz 3 in L.A. A couple other Q&As coming on this. We got a Utopia screening room Q&A with Julie Pacino, Lucy Fry, and Bella Thorne. A couple video interviews, including with one of the co-stars, Matt Rife, the comedian. And multiple trailers, 32-page booklet with an essay by Tori Potenza. Are you checking out I Live Here Now?
I think it's the P stands for pictures. I think it's Vinegar Syndrome Pictures.
One of those, yeah.
Yeah, but it's one of those. I'm not gonna pay whatever it is, $40 for it. But it sounds intriguing. The pictures look nice cinematography wise. Probably something I'd watch on Amazon. But it would be too risky of a blind buy for me. So no, I will not be picking it up.
I hear you. Yeah, I'm sure if my wife knew that Matt Rife was in this, she'd want to see it, but I still don't think she understands that he's not very funny. I don't know. I'd give this a watch. We'll see. Next up, the one that set the internet on fire, I guess, this weekend. We got a 4K and Blu-ray release coming from them as part of their VSA line of The Executioner Part 2, and it also includes Hellriders. And this is curious because Hellriders had a VSA release previously. The Executioner Part 2 had a release previously from Vinegar Syndrome, but it was, at this point, I don't know, 13 and a half, 14 years ago. And they did say at the time, it will not be upgraded to Blu-ray. And it looks like they got around that by saying, well, it's upgraded to 4K now. So any thoughts on The Executioner?
I don't like this filmmaker. Nothing against James Bryan. I have actually met him. He's a very nice man, but I don't connect with his movies at all. He made similar films that were released. Actually, released Jungle Trap, terrible. Lady Street Fighter 1 and 2, not good. I just don't like his filmmaking. And so in 4K, are you kidding? That's not going to make it any better. That's not going to improve anything. It's going to make it look worse, to be honest. And then that's the only one that got the 4K. Hellriders is still on Blu-ray. Again, I don't understand why include that. They should have done Frozen Scream, which was attached to Executioners at one point. And none of this release makes any sense to me. I don't know why they did it. I think we probably would have liked another Hong Kong release over a double dip, essentially. I don't know. It's weird.
The VSA line started out semi-interesting to me. A lot of the ones that they were doing at the beginning, these underseen like video store relic type of films, that was fine. That was interesting. This, not so much. I mean, we've already been down this well. I'm not super into the upgrades. There are some new extras on here. That's not going to excite me. I got to be honest. I had already sold my release of The Executioner and the Frozen Scream a long time ago. I am certainly not purchasing that one again.
Yeah.
High Society. I'm finally moving away from the Vinegar Syndrome side. High Society getting a 4K Steelbook from Warner Brothers in the UK. This is following the US Warner Archive 4K that came out for this one. This is the Frank Sinatra, Grace Kelly, Bing Crosby film. And once again, they're doing the classic, hey, you can pre-order our Steelbook, but there's no art, no information on what's on the disc. Just take a gamble, roll the dice, hope that it doesn't sell out if you're going to wait. How are you feeling about that Warner Brothers thing that they keep doing?
they're clearly sort of signaling a specific market. They know that this isn't going to be, picked up by everybody. I honestly think they're testing the waters to see what they can get away with. I don't know. It's very bizarre to me that they're not even at least going to show temp art. I mean, I don't know. That's very bizarre to me. Good movie, but I wouldn't. I mean, I would buy it for the movie, but so I guess if you don't really care what the art looks like, I mean, it could look like Little Darlings, and they all have mustard on their face or whatever. So there is that, but I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird choice.
The big thing to me is it's a studio. You're not. I mean, I don't know. You're not going out and commissioning brand new artwork for most of these. They did it, I think it was last year, for Beetlejuice. They announced a new steelbook for Beetlejuice, and it said, artwork not final to be announced. Here's placeholder art. It was the exact same art when they released it on the final day. Like, what are we doing? You're putting the poster on there, most likely. Just show us that.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't get it. Anyways. The next one from Vinegar Syndrome over this subscriber week was their VSL, which is The Hand of Night from 1968. This one is a British film that they had been talking up for quite some time. I do like the back of the slip. This looks like a really fun design. This is featuring a host of notable American and British actors, including William Sylvester, Diane Clare, and Edward Underdown. The celluloid archaeologists of Vinegar Syndrome Labs are delighted to dust off The Hand of Night for its first ever disc release in the world. This one is Region A locked, brand new restoration, commentary with Jonathan Rigby and Kevin Lyons, and appreciation by Kim Newman. Featurette on Associated British Path, the production company behind The Hand of Night, with Roger Voss and Franz van Habsburg. And then we got another discussion on how ABP production was budgeted. And that is it. Are you into this era of British films?
Absolutely. I mean, reading the description, it sounds kind of boring, to be honest. But I love this era of cinema, and it's probably something I'd like to track down and try before I buy. But I would never, I wouldn't blind buy it, basically. But Vinegar Syndrome taught me one thing: never trust the slipcover art. Never trust the slipcover art, because you never know what you're gonna get. They're trying to sell this thing. They're gonna make it look as cool as possible. And this is a great slip, but for me, it's one of those. I'm gonna try and maybe find it on Amazon or maybe Prime Video. Well, that's Amazon. Tubi. One of those has to have it. So I want to watch it, but I'm not buying it. How about you?
Not even thinking about it. I can tell this is not my thing. The VSL line is another one where I don't know. On the one hand, I do understand their need to experiment with the way that they get some of these titles and need to find a line that doesn't ruffle the feathers of people getting it in the subscriptions. Mm-hmm. That being said, this line has just turned into sort of like, How do you feel?
It's a mess, dude. It's a complete mess. So weird.
I don't know. The sub labels thing, like, I get it. I mean, even with Nintendo stuff, I'm planning a couple different sub labels because you want to curate to people's tastes, and I get that. Mm-hmm. But 3 or 4, that makes sense. 9 or 12, it's starting to get a little sort of funky. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's talk about some anime and other films. So we've got a handful of things coming from Animigo over the next year. Seikon the Ventriloquist, for the first time, is coming out in English on standard definition Blu-ray disc in November. We got the AD Police Files coming on 4K UHD. The release will include both the American and British dubs, with a new interview with the singer Lou Bonnevie. House of Five Leaves from 2010 for the first time on HD on home video on Blu-ray in early 2027. And then Akachan Toboku, also known as Baby and Me, for the first time in English on standard definition Blu-ray, coming in 2027. You just spent some time in Japan. How do you feel about anime?
I love anime. It's to be fair, it could get pervy real quick. That is just sort of part of the culture. But what I love most about anime is that the stories are just so interesting, and they do so many interesting things with narrative that you, first of all, wouldn't see in American animation, but you wouldn't see in just American cinema at all. So I love losing myself in it. It's just an incredible, like Death Note just phenomenal. Series Gantz, Gantz, awesome, dude, just incredible. These I'm not familiar with. I have seen 80 Police Files back in the day, but it's been a minute. But I'm always down to check something out like this because I think for me I find it rewarding.
I agree for the most part. I've not spent a lot of time for my taste to develop an anime, but I definitely want to. It's certainly on the list. I do want to say that I also saved the best title for last year because I had to spend some time researching this to find out if this was a real title. Turns out it is. So the English translation, they have coming on Blu-ray in December of this year. The title is "What If a Female Manager of a High School Baseball Team Read Drucker's Management?" That is the name of an anime.
What? What the hell's Drucker's Management? Is that a thing that we know?
I don't know. I guess we'll have to watch and find out.
Wow, interesting.
All right. And then from G Kids to continue along the anime line, we got 4 semi-large announcements, some that have been very heavily anticipated. August 25th, coming on 4K and Blu-ray dual format, we've got Linda from 2005. This is a movie that I've heard nothing but great things about. I'm very curious to see this. It says it's an effervescent, tender-hearted snapshot of youth about the unparalleled joy of jamming out with your friends, which we've all kind of been there and dreamt about it if you're into stuff like this. You get a behind-the-scenes featurette, a trailer, and a booklet with a new essay. There's a beauty that can't be seen in photos by David Elric and interviews with the director Nobuhiro Yamashita and the screenwriter Kosuke Mukai. Yeah, I mean, this sounds good. Have you ever seen Linda?
No, but it's one I've heard of in the past. It sounds like exactly my kind of thing. I honestly would watch anything in Japanese. I love Japanese cinema in general, so I'm down. 4K upgrade. I mean, again, I think maybe just because of shelf space, I'll try and track it down some other way. Hey, what's up, man? To view it, but if it belongs on my shelf, then I absolutely would pick it up.
And then next from them, they've got a 4K Blu-ray in September 8th of Look Back from 2024. And I should mention all 4 of these versions of these from G-Kids are all currently site exclusives. Let's be honest, they always release a standard for the most part of all of these. So I'm sure there's going to be a trimmed down version without the booklets and all the special things. But Look Back, you seem to light up on that one. Have you seen this?
Love it. This is it's short. I want to say, yeah, it's like less than an hour long.
Just under, yeah.
It's I want to say it's on Netflix that I saw it. Really, really incredible. Kind of sad, but kind of a time travel friendship story. I thought it was phenomenal. Do recommend it.
And not to mention, I believe there's another version coming, a live-action version of this by a semi-large director. I think Koreeda might be making a version of this.
Wow, that's cool.
The disc on this one has a making of. We got an audio commentary, a couple interviews, and some post-screening talks, TV spots, plus a 160-page book with this one. So if you really love this one, it might be worth checking out. That being said, these were kind of pricey, and something that's just under an hour, paying $40+ for that. That's to me, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
For people that I trust, they did say this is like one of the best things they saw in all of 2024. So I am dying to see this one.
Yeah, Netflix if you have it.
Good to know. September 22nd, the next one is Angel's Egg from 1985, getting a 4K and Blu-ray release from G-Kids. Again, site exclusive. This is the same film that was released on 4K previously by Umbrella in Australia. This seems to sell out very quickly the moment it's on like Orbit and gets restocked everywhere else. This is a 4K restoration of the film supervised by the director. We got a couple different interviews, Japan Society talk with Yoshitaka Amano, official trailer, and then a booklet with a new essay by Danielle Burgos. Have you seen Angel's Egg?
A long time ago. I remember it being incredibly visually amazing, but I don't even remember what the plot was. But I remember being, oh my god, that thing looked incredible. So it's time for me to revisit. I'm excited to check that out. But how much is this? Is this $40 too?
I think it's even a little more than that. Yeah.
Oof. Okay. Well, maybe not. I'll wait for a sale.
At least this one's 73 minutes.
Yeah. There you go.
Barely. And then finally from them, October 6th, we've got Love and Pot from 1998. This one says, in July 1997, Tokyo schoolgirl Hiromi and her friends spend the summer going on dates with older men for money. Armed with only a cell phone, Hiromi sets out to date her way to 128,000 yen in order to purchase an expensive topaz ring before the mall closes for the day. We've got a featurette on here, deleted scene, TV spots, and teasers and trailers. And again, heard this one is pretty good. Have not seen this at all.
Same, but is it directed by Hideki Anno, who did Evangelion? That's kind of nuts.
It is, yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, the plot sounds a little, I don't know, unpleasant, dating older men, but, maybe it's like one of those romantic kind of silly comedies. I don't know. Definitely one to watch, especially with Hideki in charge. I mean, it can't be bad because they're putting so much love into it. So I'll check it out.
Well, the way they're describing it, criminally underseen for years, Love and Pop remains a singular portrait of Japanese youth coming of age in the approach to the 21st century. So...
Interesting. How do they spell coming, though? No.
Next announcement. Kino Lorber coming on Blu-ray soon is Eddie Macon's Run from 1983. This one with Kirk Douglas, John Schneider, Tom Noonan, sorry. This is from a new HD master from a 4K scan of the OCN, although they're only putting it out on Blu-ray from the sound of it. Have you seen Eddie Macon's Run?
No, but this looks bananas. For a minute, I thought that was C. Thomas Howell, but no, I have no idea what this is. But Tom Noonan's in it. I love me some Noonan, so...
Yeah, he that was a sad one to have passed away.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mr. Film Guy's asking, are those going to be on Amazon or just exclusive? The G-Kids ones are currently exclusive to their site, but I bet they're going to get a standard at some point.
Gotcha.
All right, next up, coming soon from Kino is a Blu-ray of Murder by the Clock from all the way back in 1931. This one sounds pretty great. It says a policeman investigates a woman's link to murders that are preceded by a shrilling horn inside a family mausoleum. This one, again, almost 100 years old, starring William Boyd, Lillian Tashman, Regis Toomey, and Irving Peschel, directed by Edward Sloman. Silent films. Are you checking out any of those recently?
Absolutely love silent movies, and I'm trying to
this one's
curate.
A top, I think.
Well, it looks phenomenal. 31, right? Yeah, 31 would be talkie. No, I love this era of cinema. For me, 30s, 40s is really where it's at, and then I kind of skip all the way over to 80s. But I do like the 60s roughies, which is, I don't know if we're gonna get into the roughies with any announcements, but. The only thing I'm worried about this release is this can't be a long movie. I can't imagine this is going to be on a disc by itself. It's not a big name. It doesn't have any big cast. It's kind of weird that it's being released on its own. So I don't know. This feels like a good double feature type movie, but I'd watch it.
I will say this is one that people have been anticipating, at least. I know there's a few people that were waiting by this one, and it's one I think it was thought to be lost for a while, so the reputation might be preceding it on this one in a way.
Okay.
And it is 76 minutes, so at least it's a feature length.
There you go.
It's certainly not the 50-minute ones that some of the others are.
Yeah.
We got a 4K coming of Denzel Washington in The Hurricane from 99. One of those films from 99 that if it was any other year, probably would have got a lot more attention. But how do you feel about The Hurricane? Did you see this one?
I did. It's fine. It's not a movie that I need to revisit anytime soon. It doesn't necessarily belong in my library, but Denzel's always good. There's one Denzel movie that I think deserves more attention that no one really talks about. That's his Othello movie. Was it Othello? I think it was Othello. Was it Othello? The Coen brother movie? Was it Othello or Macbeth?
No. Tragedy Macbeth, is that what it was called?
Yeah, it was Macbeth. Othello, I'm thinking of something else. The Macbeth movie was great. That was memorable, except for the name. But The Hurricane, it's fine. It's a boxing movie. After Rocky, I'm kind of boxing doesn't move me as much.
I've never been even like a sports movie type person. However, I'm definitely a Denzel person. I would love to have this, but God, give some love to some of his other movies. Some of these studios, come on! I mean, we're dying to get some of those in proper releases. He has done so. Like, get us the Tony Scotts on 4K by all.
Ricochet. I mean, come on, it's a good one.
All right. Next up. Criterion over in the UK, they are putting out Little Odessa, which is coming on September 7th. Harlan County, USA on Blu-ray, that's coming on September 7th as well. And then 12 Angry Men on 4K on September 14th. The Criterion sale, any of these that you picked up recently?
Well, I've got 12 Angry Men already. And Harlan County I've seen, but I can't. It's been a minute, so I can't remember exactly what I felt about it. I thought it was an interesting film overall. Little Odessa I haven't seen, but I've heard good things. James Gray is an incredible filmmaker.
You watch many docs like Harlan County, or docs at all?
Yeah, normally not. I usually, unless it's something that everyone's kind of talking about. But in terms of docs, I don't usually go out for.
Yeah, I get that. All right, September 28th, over in the UK from Studio Canal, we're getting a 4K and Blu-ray release of Bluebeard from 1972. This will have a 12-page booklet with a new essay by Peter Raleigh, new artwork by Thomas Hodge, which looks pretty decent for this movie. We got a new interview with Anna Bugitskaya on this one, a new audio commentary by Howard S. Berger and Nathaniel Thompson. A reminder that Kino either has released or will be releasing Bluebird on 4K soon as well. This Richard Burton, have you seen this one ever?
No, but this sounds awesome. I love the Bluebeard story, and Richard Burton is just always magnetic, so I'd love to check it out.
Yeah, heard this one is great. Have not been able to see this one, but God, yeah, this looks like a fun release of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this. September 8th, we're getting a Blu-ray and DVD release of Tulsa King Season 3. How are they still making this? And not only that, I had no idea that let me zoom in here for this pixelated face. I had no idea that Martin Starr was a major part of Tulsa King.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
And Samuel L. Jackson is in this show, which is what? Have you been watching Tulsa King? Is this your newest must-see TV?
Well, I'll be honest. I am the head of the Tulsa King fan club.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm the Tulsa Prince is my other handle. No, I've never seen this. I see posters of it all the time in LA, but I just don't have time for TV anymore. It has to be something that like so many people are telling me to watch, and I hear over and over and over. Yeah, you gotta watch. Like, Pluribus was the last show I sunk any time into, and I want to see Widow's Bay because I hear that's really good.
Same.
But Tulsa King, not for me. No.
Cinema 4 says they are filming Frisco King with Samuel Jackson a few blocks from me. So there's a spin-off of Tulsa King being made?
It's a universe. It's like a whole King universe.
I feel like I'm all, pardon the pun, Stallone on this hill of not watching this then. Like, what in the world? All right. Here we are, I guess.
Wow.
Next up, Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. The biggest comedy hit of the last year is getting a 4K and Blu-ray release. This is the only 4K release of this film yet that's been announced. This is coming from Vision's home video over in the UK on September 21st. We've got the commentary with Matt and Jay that I believe is the same as on all the other releases. Different opening, animatic back to 2008 and running cable. Deleted scene, figured it out, featurette, some home movies, and then episode 101 of the show. Plus, if you buy their specific release, you've got a slipcover on it, 4 collectible art cards, and a poster. I've still not been able to see this movie. Did you get to see this one?
I have not. At first, when the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, it's about Nirvana. Okay. But then I saw the poster. I'm like, I don't think that's about Nirvana, the Nirvana band that I know. So I literally have no clue what this is about. Is this a documentary, a comedy? I don't know what this is.
It is all a comedy. It says, when they're planning to book a show at the Rivoli goes horribly wrong, Matt and Jay accidentally time travel back to 2008. And supposedly the humor is spot on and very, very good. And the rumor is that I believe Neon is supposedly supposed to put out their entire show, which actually was a show. And it was called Nirvana the Band, the show. And that's why this is Nirvana the Band, the show, the movie.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, did want to point out, in case you've not noticed, is the name of this is not spelled the same as the band. There are two N's there.
Yeah, I just heard the name. I'd seen the artwork and just kind of never really read it until I'm like, okay, there you go. It's different.
Yep, absolutely. Man, this will be a fun one to talk about. 2002's 24-Hour Party People, coming out on October 26th in a 4K release from Altitude Films in the UK. Did you ever see Steve Coogan in 24-Hour Party People?
I haven't, but I love me some Coogan. I think he's awesome. I like Michael Winterbottom as well. I've heard the title, but I just never got around to watching that. Are you a fan of this one?
I've not seen the whole thing. I've seen a couple clips. It looks funny enough. Steve Coogan is great, especially in smaller doses. But from what I hear, the old DVD release of this had an extensive amount of bonus features, and this looks to be losing almost all of them. The other aspect, this was shot on like mini DV cam. This is barely 460p, and there's no reason for this to be getting a 4K UHD release.
Wow. That's really weird. That's going to look horrendous on 4K. My God. Okay. It's a good cast, though. I mean, that's an incredible cast.
It looks like a fun movie. I certainly would want to watch it. But what in the world are we doing? Upgrading films like that to 4K.
It's bound to happen when they run out of stuff. Like, okay, Sledgehammer 4K. It's going to happen, man.
I guess, and if it sells, sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, 4K Blu-ray coming out of 54 from Cinematograph. This is from 1998, and the big thing here is we've got two versions of the film. We've got the new 4K restoration of the 1998 theatrical version and the 2015 director's cut, which I have not seen either. This was just not really my style of film. But supposedly this 2015 director's cut is immensely better than the theatrical cut. Have you seen 54?
Absolutely. I'm a diehard Neve Campbell stan, and I watch everything she's in. It's not. I didn't love it. It wasn't really my kind of thing, but I do have fond memories of watching it. I didn't pick this up mainly because me and Cinematograph just don't click. I just speaking of labels that don't make sense. Yeah, I don't know, but 54. It's a solid movie, but I don't necessarily need it on my shelf.
A bunch of their films, I think, are certainly worthy enough to get from the Cinematograph line, but the amount and the titles and the price point and the size, I don't know. There's some genuine masterpieces in their line, and then some really what are we doing titles in that line, and to have those together does feel a little weird.
Yeah, I mean, I get at first it felt like, oh, it's gonna be kind of like, maybe Turner Classic Movies or kind of like an upscale classic movies kind of thing, and then well, actually I have it next to me, so like never forget. Then you get stuff like Go Fish, which I get. Movie. I was not a fan, but I get there's an audience for it. But you put that, and then you get Drop Zone, and then We're No Angels. You know what? It just doesn't feel like it fits for me. And that's my issue with Cinematograph. I feel like there's no. And then there's the merch, but that's a different discussion. We're not going to go down the merch route, which like a lot of their shirts make no sense. Like there's skeletons and cats. I don't know. But anyway, to bring it back to 54, great movie, but I'm not picking it up anytime soon. How many Cinematograph shirts do you own?
Well, let's just say if you've got a film line with, I don't know, at this point, like 34 releases or something like that, and you have put out like 96 shirts.
Yeah. Yep.
There's something weird there. I don't understand. Like I saw for the first time ever. I saw somebody wearing a Cinematograph shirt in public in
Really?
Kansas City, and I went, "They do exist." I am every single time I'm shocked when they release one film and 4 shirts, and I'm just quite confused every time.
Yeah. And it doesn't even fit with the like there's skeletons and aliens and like what's happening? That has nothing to do with anything. Yeah. Anyway.
Corinne, it was not a homeless person, I promise. It was not like they gave away the shirts from the losing World Series team. No. So this disc, we got new commentaries by Mark Christopher, the director, and Justin Liberty on both cuts of the film. New commentary with the director and the writer on the theatrical cut, some archival commentaries, new interviews all over this thing with a bunch of people associated with the making of the film. New visual essay by Alexander Heller Nicholas, a making of from 2016. Deleted scenes, including footage not found in the director's cut. Never before seen B-roll art from the production, behind the scenes photo gallery, all kinds of photo galleries on here. And then new text essays by Sean Abley, Alex Guter, Dan Mecca. And again, like the release itself, first off, they released it with shirts, which sold out pretty much immediately. The art on this, I actually really love the packaging on this one. I don't always love the art, but I did really like it on this one. The only thing I wanted to point out, which I've not seen many people talking about yet, do you notice anything about this shirt?
What the fingers going up the thing's butthole?
No, the fact that if you follow the word, it spells cinematograph.
Oh, what the hell?
Why is there this P in here? Cinematograph.
Wow. They couldn't even be bothered to spell check their shirts. Jeez. Oh man, I did not notice that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyways,
collector's item right there.
We transfer from there to breastfeeding. So October 19th in the UK, October 20th in the US, Radiance is putting out Visitor Q from 2001. Is this one that you immediately had to get from New Wave or Radiance or nobody?
This movie's friggin' crazy, dude. I love Mickey. This is it's not one of those like, hey, let's throw this on for Christmas kind of movies. But it's definitely one I want to revisit. So yeah, I'm gonna have to pick this one up. This is it's weird, but it's real. It's a really interesting watch, and you just gotta be open-minded when you go into it. I'll say that.
Quite open-minded. We just screened this for New Wave Video in LA at Brain Dead Studios a couple weeks ago.
No way.
Did that with Pure Cinema Podcast, and turns out there were a few walkouts, as you would expect.
Yeah.
But this is an interesting one. New transfer from the original master beta tape. This was the master that New Wave Video did. They supplied it to Radiance, so you're not getting anything different there if you picked up the New Wave one. The extras, though, here are different. There's an audio commentary by Tom Mess, new interviews with the director, Takashi Miike, and a couple of the stars from the film. Visitor Q and the Feminine Principle, new visual essay by Kat Ellinger on this one. Supposedly newly improved English subtitles. Not sure if that's going to be different from New Wave, but I saw nothing wrong with the New Wave subtitles. Just a heads up, New Wave was the one that acquired this. They're the ones that brokered all of the deals for this film. So the fact that this is getting released all across the world is all because of John Matthews and Mako at Radiance Films. Or sorry, not Radiance, at New Wave Video. They deserve all the credit in the world. And John and Mako specifically, who literally went and acted on behalf of New Wave to get this from people, should be like fully bowed down at the feet of because of what they're able to do. New Wave Video doing some special things. So support New Wave. If you want the Radiance one as well, by all means do. Just understand it would not have happened without John over at New Wave.
And isn't there, I don't know if you know behind the scenes stuff, but isn't it like really hard to get the Miike stuff? Because I know, the guy's made like 800,000 movies, but isn't like half of them owned by the Yakuza or something like that? I know there's like I don't know if that was a rumor, if that was real or not, but.
No, it's real. Mako had to go and act on behalf and do some translating to get people to go speak to the actual Yakuza to get this away from them. And they did it themselves. And New Wave Video should be applauded for all their efforts. Mako is amazing. And yes, Hilton is saying, I hear Gozu is coming soon. Not only is it coming soon, can confirm New Wave Video releasing it on 4K UHD here very soon. So keep an eye out on that. All right, so that is Visitor Q. Next up, October 19th in the UK, October 20th in the US is The Monster. This is from 1977. This says, Valerio is a struggling reporter with a failed marriage and withdrawn son. He's angry at the world and strives for more. In the newspaper's mail, he receives the opportunity he's been waiting for. A serial killer announces and later carries out a series of grisly murders. He remorselessly uses this opportunity to improve his position and standing, but will he draw himself too close to the killer? Story itself sounds pretty damn interesting. I'm very curious to see this one. This is a 2K restoration from the original negative by Radiance. We get an audio commentary by Rachel Nisbet and Peter Jimstad. Interviews with some of the stars from the film. And we've got the makeup artist doing some interviews as well. Interview with the Italian cinema expert Richard Dyer, a trailer plus a booklet with new writing by Roberto Curti, author of the Italian Giallo and Film and Television, and some archival interviews. Are you much into Radiance nowadays?
I mainly for like the box sets, like the Shinobi box set, the Gothic, the Japanese Gothic box sets. Not so much the single ones, just because I haven't really been paying attention. This sounds super cool, and definitely something I'd love to watch. I have a soft spot for Italy, having been there, so it's definitely. And I've always loved Italian cinema, but I think being there has sort of compelled me to watch stuff that's beyond the typical Italian cinema that I would watch, like, the Giallos and things like that. So yeah, this sounds great.
Nice. Next, speaking of Italians, Planet of the Vampires, which has come out previously from Radiance, getting a 4K upgrade October 19th in the UK, October 20th in the US. Everything on the disc looks to be the same. Everything looks to be basically a pretty straight re-release, just updating it to UHD. How do you feel about that one?
I like this movie. I'm a big fan. I love Mario Bava. It's a great looking movie. It's very colorful. So a 4K of this sounds really exciting to me. I didn't have the original release of it, so I'm all in. I'm a big fan of this movie.
It looks great. This has certainly been something that has inspired many other cinematic looks, and it's Bava, so it's going to look incredible. That being said, just under 2 years since the previous release, when this comes out, that's very, very quick. And the other part is this: the original Radiance release came out, and then right after that, a 4K came out in Italy, I think it was, or Germany, or both, maybe even. And those were not like actual 4K scans of the negative that were, approved by everybody, and blah blah blah, and all that fun stuff that makes them actually necessary masters. So it wasn't great. It was, I believe, just an upscale. It does strike me as a little painful for people to get an upgrade, especially if you're a subscriber, just 2 years after the first one came out.
Yeah, absolutely. For that alone, I think the subscription model in general is flawed, especially if a company starts doing this kind of stuff. So that I can see how that people would be burned by that, but luckily I'm in the camp where I didn't get the first one, so I'm happy with this. But I think this is just going to teach people, if you want the 4K, just don't buy the Blu-ray release. Whatever the first release is, just hold off, and maybe you'll get a 4K, or maybe you won't. And then maybe that'll sell out, and you won't get it. It's just like it's going to be a trade-off with this kind of stuff, but. It's the way of the world. I think everything's eventually going to come to 4K somehow, some way.
Well, that I can strongly disagree with you there. I think that is grossly incorrect. I think most films will never come out on 4K. The vast majority of movies will never come out on 4K.
Well, the vast majority, yeah. But the stuff that we see often, we'll get 4Ks.
Sure, and obviously it's a Bava. Like most Bava films are going to come out on 4K. Just like I said earlier, most Hooper films and Craven films should all come out on 4K. Completely get that. But gosh, even like most modern films are still never going to come out on 4K. That's just the sad reality of it. The cost to do it is making it so that they don't happen. And if people start making decisions and saying, well, eventually this will come out on 4K, so I'm not buying, this industry will literally cave in on itself because to support it, we need people to be able to purchase them. And yeah, most films will not come out on 4K. All right. Next up, October 19th in the UK, October 20th in the US, Blu-ray box set of the Fantastique, The Dreams and Nightmares of French Cinema. This is a wide-ranging box set coming from 1930 to 1996. French Fantastica films. How do you feel about this?
Sounds amazing. I mean, that's literally like all the things I love. French cinema is great. I love. One of my favorite movies of all time is Beauty and the Beast. I'm blanking on the director's name, but the French Beauty and the Beast, Le Beauty and la Bête, great film. And this just sounds like a box set of that kind of stuff. I'm in. Sign me up.
Yeah, this looks pretty damn amazing. There are a lot of filmmakers that I've heard a lot about. I've seen very little from. Some giant names, some pretty big titles, which I'm kind of surprised are coming in box sets rather than their own. But I think, if anything, it makes it more appealing to everybody. And it is a little on the expensive side, but you're getting a lot for this. This is a pretty fantastic, pardon the pun, looking box set. And I'm quite curious on this one for sure.
It looks phenomenal. I'm going to pre-order as soon as it's available to do so. That sounds great.
And then October 19th on 4K and Blu-ray over in the UK only, not the US, is La Marge from 1976. This one is going to be quite interesting. This is the Borowczyk film, and it's going to be a 4K SDR and Blu-ray presentation. This was done by Studio Canal. It's got the director's cut on the Blu-ray only, exclusive to this edition, so it will not be in the standard. We've also got a new visual essay by Sam Deegan, new appreciation by the director and cinematographer Sean Price Williams. We got a brief Von Paris commissioned by German broadcaster ZDF, a 16mm short film by Borowczyk that was shot in the French capital during the release of La Marge. That's 40 minutes long. Some behind-the-scenes footage, some interviews, all that to say this looks like a really solid film, especially if you're into Sylvia Christel. We get a booklet in this with new writing by David Jenkins. You excited by this one?
Sylvia Christel is interesting. I mean, you got Joe D'Alessandro, so two sexy time people. Valerian's an interesting filmmaker. Not my favorite, but certainly he's kind of in the Takeshi Miike, outre filmmaking kind of pantheon. It sounds interesting. Not something I'd pick up, but certainly something I'd love to watch.
And on 4K even.
Yeah.
Speaking of 4K, over in the UK, October 19th, Who Can Kill a Child, coming from the transmission line. This is probably going to do very well for them. This is probably going to sell out on pre-order. If you're into this one, I would get it fairly quickly. That being said, Mondo Macabro has announced that they are trying to get a UHD for this one. There are some barriers that they're overcoming, but it sounds like they think a 2027 release is possible. So if you're in the US and you seem to want to, support Mondo Macabro, you might want to wait on this one. This one is a brand new 4K restoration from the OCN with Dolby Vision HDR. We've got an option to watch the U.S. theatrical cut of the film, which removes the controversial prologue. We got a new commentary with Jonathan Rigby, Kevin Lyons, new visual essay by Alex Mendable, all kinds of archival stuff on this one, a pull-out poster, 6 lobby card, postcards on this, and then a 40-page perfect bound book with new writing from Kelly Weston and Anton Battelle and rare archive material. Who Can Kill a Child? How do you feel about it?
This movie is incredible. I love this movie. It is very bleak. It is, it's about killer children on an island, and it's pretty awful. The ending is messed up, but it's there's nothing like this movie, and it packs a punch. So I do highly recommend it. Yeah, I mean, I don't need all the lobby cards and things, but maybe I'll wait for Mondo. But yeah, this is a really, really good movie.
This is a very good movie. This is like top tier Euro trash in the best of ways.
Yeah, I mean, it's a serious, like, it just feels like it doesn't feel, I mean, it's exploitative, but it doesn't feel that way. It's, I don't know, it's really well done.
Yeah, check it out. Hey, this is an antenna announcement. Wanted to share that the Dead Media Theatrical Roadshow is happening starting soon. It's called the Bonus Features Tour. Premiere starting July 18th in LA at Braindead Studios. We got Joe Lynch moderating the QA live and in person. He's the executive producer on the film. We've got an actual movie tie-in issue of my magazine, The Physical Media Advocate, coming out for Dead Media. You can pick it out live in person with the director here. Pretty soon you'll be able to get that online. You'll also be able to get it when the DVD and Blu-ray release of this movie comes out next year. If you're a subscriber to my Patreon, you'll get that this month. So keep an eye out on that. It will be on the way. It's a really fun issue. We got writing from people who are in the chat here in that issue. It's a wonderful release. Check out the movie. It's great. Coming all over the U.S. More dates to be announced, but check out antennareleasing.com to see if it's coming near you.
That's awesome. I'll try and make the 18th. That's fantastic, man.
Yeah, we got Braindead. We got Digital Gym in San Diego. We've got Glendale at the Lemley, the Frida in July 25th at Santa Ana, the Festival in Palm Springs, all kinds of LA dates.
That's great. I know that Lemley, by the way. That's where I have my premieres, so that's great.
Nice. Man, we got a lot of Warner Archive stuff to talk about. So I hope people are ready for that because my goodness, they did like 3 different drops today alone, and then this one was yesterday. So September 2nd, we're getting a 4K and Blu-ray release of one of the best noirs out there, Out of the Past from 1947 with Robert Mitchum. This one's going to have an intro by Eddie Muller on here, feature-length commentary by James Orsini, audio-only extras that are on the disc, and it is going to be a 2-disc release with a 4K and a Blu-ray. Out of the Past, you seen this one?
I love it, man. Robert Mitchum, man, he cuts like glass. I love it. Anything he's in is fantastic. 4K, yeah, phenomenal. I'm in. This looks so good.
Lots of people excited about this one. That's awesome to see. Yeah, Mitchum is amazing. Very curious to see. Why does he look a bit drunk? It's a noir film. He is a bit drunk.
Yeah, it's part of the fun.
All right. Next, Wag the Dog from 1997, finally getting a Blu-ray release on August 18th. Quite a prescient film here, if you've never seen this one. This has a featurette on here from Washington to Hollywood, a featurette including interviews with Barry Levinson, Jane Rosenthal, Tom Brokaw, John Frankenheimer, Dee Dee Myers, Bud Schulberg, Chris Hedges, D.A. Panabaker, and others. Audio commentary by Barry Levinson and Dustin Hoffman, and the original trailer. This is a 4K scan of the OCN. Do you remember Wag the Dog?
I do. I still have it on DVD. This movie was great. It's just incredible writing. It's just a phenomenal team in general behind the scenes. So yeah, phenomenal movie.
Great cast in this one overall, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Then, on August 18th, we are getting Montana from 1950 from Warner Archive. This one with Errol Flynn, one of his westerns. We got a classic Warner Brothers western shorts on here, Oklahoma Outlaws, Wagon Wheels West, Gun to Gun. We got Warner Brothers Joe McDoke's short, So You Want to Raise. Warner Brothers cartoon, It's Hummer Time. And then the original trailer on the disc as well. 4K scans, the original Nitrate Technicolor negatives. You into Errol Flynn at all?
Yeah, for sure. I love old westerns too. And speaking of shorts, looks like they got a couple of those western shorts. Now that would be fun to watch. I'm like I said, I'm not a shorts guy, but I love those, those serials like the fucking Radar Men from the Moon and all that stuff. I love those kind of things. So I'd be down to. Those are shorts that I would watch. So this sounds great.
Nice. Another Western, Sergeant Rutledge, coming to Blu-ray from Warner Archive on August 18th. This is one that a lot of people are very excited about. We get an audio interview with Ben Mankiewicz and Donald Bogle on this one. Warner Brothers cartoons Hop Along, Casualty, and West of the Pesos. This has 4K scans, the original negative on this. Big one here. Directed by John Ford. Woody Strode in this, Jeffrey Hunter. Have you seen Sergeant Rutledge?
I haven't, but it sounds amazing, and I'm happy that westerns haven't been forgotten. This sounds great. Yeah, Jeffrey Hunter. Yeah, phenomenal. I'd love to watch this.
Big release there. And then Bogey Film, All Through the Night from 1942, coming on Blu-ray on August 18th. Got a commentary by Vincent Sherman and the Bogart biographer Eric Lax. A featurette called Call the Usual Suspects, the craft of the character actor. A vintage 1942 newsreel. Warner Brothers Joe McDake's comedy short, So You Want to Give Up Smoking, and a classic cartoon called Lights Fantastic. 4K scan of the original nitrate negatives here as well. I love that yesterday I had a couple comments come in about people wanting Bogey films on Blu-ray that have never gotten a Blu-ray, and here you go, All Through the Night, making its way to Blue. 1942's All Through the Night. You seen it?
I'm not familiar with this movie, but it also has Conrad Veidt, who is just magnetic on screen. So this is fantastic. I'm excited to watch this one too.
And then one that I've not seen, The Show Forever from 2014 and 2015, getting a complete series Blu-ray release on August 25th. No extras on this one, but it's got Judd Hirsch. Literally had never even heard of this.
Yeah, same. I don't know what this is. It stars Mr. Fantastic himself, but yeah, that's a head scratcher for me.
Of all the films and TV that Warner Brothers has, Forever, the complete series.
Gotta get it.
Then on August 18th, they're also putting out Torrid Zone with James Cagney, Ann Sheridan, and Pat O'Brien. This one says, Big shot Steve Case knows only one man can shape up his troubled Banana Republic plantation fireball Nick Butler, but Nick may be a little bit distracted. He's just met stranded American Lee Donnelly, a chanteuse who can hold her own at a card table, especially if she's dealing. Off-screen pals James Cagney and Pat O'Brien team for the 8th time in this snappy action comedy. We've got another vintage newsreel. Classic Warner Brothers musical short, Ozzie Nelson and His Orchestra, historical short called Pony Express Days, and then a classic WB cartoon that was Oscar nominated called A Wild Hare, plus the trailer. 4K scans of the original nitrate negatives here as well. Never seen this one, but more Cagney's a good thing. Any thoughts?
Love me some Cagney, and he looks like John Waters. So come on, he has a guitar. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I definitely would love to see him. It looks like he's clearly playing against type. It looks like he was a real guitarist. Well, then great. I'd love to see him play
against type, but also against that mustache. All right, we got some Imprint to talk about before we go back to Warner Archive. That's how many they announced in the last 48 hours. It's been crazy. So let's talk about a bunch of Imprint stuff. August 26th, a Blu-ray set of the Fireball XL5 complete series. This is coming to their Imprint television line. This is one of the Anderson titles, the Jerry Anderson and Sylvia Anderson. This one is the third Anderson Super Marionation production, and the last in black and white. Limited edition 5-disc release. We've got, let's see, I think a couple featured docs, and then a color version of one of the episodes. No extras other than that coming on this. Are you into any of the Anderson releases?
You know, after Team America, I can't look at these the same way again. But back in the day when I was younger, they would be running them like Nick and Night or whatever. I watched Thunderbirds and things like that. I'm not familiar with Fireball, but I'm really glad that it's getting new life, for a new audience. That's fantastic.
Well, it's not even the last one. They're also doing Joe 90, the complete series. This is from 1968. Lots of very nostalgic photos there on the screen. And it does say there are some new special features coming. They've not confirmed them yet, so check out for that. They've got the Amazing Adventures of Joe 90, a feature film that's in SD on here. Some trailers, making of, all that fun stuff. Another Anderson release.
Not that one. Is it like another like space one? I guess
at least sci-fi, yeah.
Sci-fi, yeah. Okay, cool, man. That's great.
All right, and then Imprint on all of these are coming on August 26th. By the way, all of them Blu-ray, none of them 4K. This first one, first time on Blu-ray anywhere in the world. We've got Screaming Mimi from 1958. There is going to be 0 extras on this. I know no information about Screaming Mimi.
All I know is that that's a term I've heard in the past. Stop being a screaming Mimi, but I had no idea that there was a movie tied to that phrase. Anita Ekberg is great, but yeah, I couldn't tell you what happens in it or if it's good.
Well, supposedly, when Virginia Wilson witnesses a man get shot right after he tries to kill her, she goes to a psychiatrist. He falls in love with her and takes over her life, but she insists on continuing her career as a stripper.
Sign me up. That's a career woman right there. That's good.
It also was loosely remade as The Bird with the Crystal Plumage by Argento.
Oh, no way. That's crazy. Wow.
So one to look out for, maybe.
Interesting.
Next up from them is A New Kind of Love from 1963. Also, first time on Blu-ray anywhere in the world. We got Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward in this one. We've got a new piece of extras on this. We got a visual essay by Daniel Kramer, friend of the show. You've got English subtitles, of course. Nothing else really on the disc, but looks like a fun release. Any thoughts on Newman?
Great cast. Looks like, honestly, it kind of feels like something that Cinematograph might release. One of the things recently I saw from them I really loved was A New Leaf with Walter Matthau. That was great. That was really, really great. So I get sort of similar vibes to this one.
That, or I feel like this will be a Kino Lorber release in 6 months.
Right. There you
go. Next up, and probably guaranteed to be a Kino release at some point, Ladies in Retirement from 1941. Again, first time on Blu-ray anywhere in the world. This is a Broadway melodrama that's coming to flaming life on the screen, as it says. This one directed by Charles Vidor, and we've got on here nothing. No extras on the disc, just the film.
Oh, looks like it's limited to 1,500 copies, too. I love Ida. She's incredible. She's important to cinema in general. I don't know the film. I'm assuming it involves fire, but I don't know what it's about.
I don't either, but here we go. Yeah, all of them are limited to 1,500, by the way.
Ah, okay.
Next up is Fear Strikes Out from 1957. Again, first time on Blu-ray anywhere in the world. This one starring Anthony Perkins. And it says, batter up for Fear Strikes Out, the biopic sports drama which chronicles the rise of Red Sox player Jimmy Piersall from childhood sandlots to Major League Baseball. Also stars Carl Malden. We had a new commentary on here by Daniel Kramer. Anthony Perkins speaking on Fear Strikes Out, working with the director Robert Mulligan at the 1988 Fangoria Weekend of Horrors. Fangoria from 38 years ago.
Wow. That sounds good. I don't know it.
Yeah, me neither. Same thing, same date and all that. Heller in Pink Tights from 1960. Same. First time on Blu-ray anywhere in the world from Imprint. Another big one. I love that they're doing brand new to Blu-ray stuff. We got a new visual essay by Matthew Aspie Greer on this one. Any thoughts? Have you heard of this one?
I haven't, but when it first popped up, I thought it said Helen Keller in Pink Tights. I'm like, that's a weird idea for a movie. I'm sure this makes more sense than what I just said. So it looks cool. Good cast, but yeah, I don't know it.
Sophia Loren, Anthony Quinn. Sounds at least interesting.
Yeah.
Next up from Imprint, 1949's Home of the Brave. Home of the Brave. This one is from the producer Stanley Kramer and the director Mark Robson. We have on this one new audio commentary by Steve Mitchell, 1952 radio adaptation, and that is it on this one. And I, again, don't know anything about it. Imprint's really getting a lot of these unknown films out there.
Yeah, that's great.
Next one from them is Kim Stanley in The Goddess from 1958. First time on Blu-ray anywhere in the world. I love that you could say that 5 or 6 times about one company in 1 month putting these out. That's always exciting. This one is going to have no extras on the disc, but The Goddess, and looks interesting.
Sexy time Lloyd Bridges, so there you go. That's something to write home about.
And acclaimed by critics on release, it says, at least. We Were Strangers is the next one. This one from 1949. This is a first time on Blu-ray release as well. This is from the one and only John Huston. This is a historical thriller, and you got Jennifer Jones in this one. No extras. But he made Horizon Pictures to finance the film, drawing on the true story of a plot to assassinate the dictator, Gerardo Machado. It was controversial upon release and a bold answer to the anti-communist witch hunts, which then had Hollywood gripped and even saw star John Garfield himself under suspicion.
Oh, that's cool. John Garfield's great, too. So this looks fantastic.
I agree. Definitely want to see this one. The next one from them is The Men from 1950. Marlon Brando making his stellar screen debut in this powerful drama from Academy Award-winning director Fred Zinnemann, who did High Noon. This one, we got a new commentary by Alan K. Rode. We got an interview with the film writer Julie Kurgo, archival audio interview with the screenwriter on this one. Brando. You into Brando?
Absolutely. He's certainly a plus in any film. And Alan Rode's, I think he's the head of the noir fan club or something. At least he is here in California, and he runs the Noir Film Festival. So I know him a little bit. And if he vouches for the movie, then that's got to be badass.
Is that the one that's out in Palm Springs?
I don't know. They have one in San Francisco. They do one here in LA at what used to be, it's still the Egyptian, but now Netflix owns it.
Yeah.
There might be one in Palm Springs. I don't know.
So a lot of people are super into noir. There's so many events for it. All right, back to Warner Archive. August 25th, we are getting Pennies from Heaven from 1981 on Blu-ray. This one was Steve Martin and Bernadette Peters. This is a 4K scan of the original negative. We got a scene-specific audio commentary by the critic Peter Rayner. 20th anniversary cast and crew reunion discussion. Have you ever seen Steve Martin and Pennies from Heaven?
You know, it's funny when this popped up. I'm like, crap. Have I seen that? I feel like I don't think I've seen this, and I felt like I've seen everything Steve Martin. But I know the title, so I might have run into it on like HBO back in the day. So I don't remember it. But I definitely want to catch up with it. It looks incredible.
Yeah, this is one that the previous release of this did not look very good. And I had heard that, so I never picked it up. But very curious to see if this one kind of fixes all of that. And I would like to see this. Hell of a cast on this one, other than the two aforementioned names. Christopher Walken, John McMartin, Herbert Ross. Yeah, big set of performances here.
Well, that's great.
And then I clicked away like an idiot. Next up from them, we've got The Human Comedy from 1943 with Mickey Rooney. This is a wild poster.
I love it. Almost looks like Society. Like he's like melding
in a way, yeah.
into people.
Which Society, also known as The Human Comedy. This one has Screen Guild Theater, radio broadcast with Mickey Rooney and Frank Morgan. We got Screen Directors Playhouse radio broadcast, classic MGM cartoon Blitzwolf, and an MGM short Don't You Believe It. 4K scan of the best preservation elements. Have never seen The Human Comedy. You into Mickey Rooney at all?
You know, young Mickey Rooney, yeah. After Breakfast at Tiffany's, when he does the Asian man, I'm like, maybe not, but sure. I definitely watch it. Again, this is probably something. If it was on TCM, and it started, and I kind of caught it at the right time, I would totally check it out.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this. Curious on it. Next up, 1956's The Bad Seed. So this did come out previously on Blu-ray, something like 15, 16 years ago, but it was really bad looking. The cover art on it is terrible. The restoration, I don't believe it was, I don't even think it was the OCN. It was just sort of a scan of something that they had available. They screwed up that. It didn't look great. And so now, hopefully all of that is all fixed again. 4K scan of the original negative here. We get a commentary by Patty McCormick and Charles Bush. Featurette, a conversation with Patty McCormick, and the trailer, The Bad Seed, the original. Have you seen this one?
Absolutely, man. This is an incredible movie. I mean, just performances alone. And speaking of Who Can Kill a Child, you know, I think maybe we have a theme. Yeah, great stuff, man.
Absolutely. Then another 4K from Warner Archive. Auntie Meme from 1958 getting a 4K and Blu-ray dual format release. We got a 2026 conversation with Jan Hanslick and Dave Karger at the 2026 DCM Film Festival, and the trailer also includes a reproduction of the original theatrical press book inside the package, with Warner Archive does not do a lot like that. So that's interesting to see. We got a 12K scan of the Technorama OCN on this. 12K scan.
Wow. I guess we know that there's gonna be life after 4K. They're already telling us, guys. Physical media is not dead, guys. We're not even at 8K yet. So hang on tight. I don't know this, but I think this is based on a Broadway show or something like that. I might be mistaken, but it sounds Broadway.
Yeah, Terry caught me. I was trying to be funny. It didn't work. It is pronounced anti-mame. The head group was asking too. 12K scan, and that 12K is not even the deepest that we've gone. I think there was some film that got a 16K scan, if I remember right.
Really? Wow.
Supposedly this is great though. Morton DaCosta, Rosalind Russell, Forrest Tucker. This is supposed to be great. I'm curious to see this. War Archive, they look great on Blu-ray already. The 4K is going to look incredible.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then I'm sure if Will was here tonight, he'd love this, but we've got John Wayne in The Wings of Eagles from 1957. Maureen O'Hara also in this one. We've got a U.S. Army promotional cartoon called Drafty, isn't it, on the disc? And then the original trailer, 4K scan of the OCN on this one. I don't remember. Are you a John Wayne guy?
It depends. I have a funny aside story here about John Wayne. So I was gonna make a Western with Thomas Jane at one point, and we had a lot of people lined up in the cast. It didn't happen, but we had a panel at Comic-Con, and I got to have a panel at Comic-Con, which is so cool. And I was sitting at the end, and then one of the questions was like, because I wrote it, I was going to direct it, but Thomas Jane came on board and he wanted to direct it. And it's one of those things where like, well, he's got the bigger name, he can get the money. Okay, you can direct. And so the question was like, how did you come up with the story? And my Western was inspired by, I love spaghetti Westerns over American Westerns. I find American Westerns just not interesting, not kind of boring. But I love spaghetti Westerns. I adore them. So my movie is very much a Leone thing. And I was talking about, my love of spaghetti Westerns and blah, blah, blah. And then I said, I'm not really too much into the John Wayne type Westerns. They don't really do much for me. And then at the end of the panel, sitting in the audience, another one of Thomas Jane's friends is Ron Perlman, who you may or may not know as Hellboy. Ron Perlman stands up, walks over to me, and he says, "Congratulations, you and I should watch some John Wayne movies sometime." And I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm like, oh yes, please, let's do that. We never got a chance to, but just so everyone knows, Ron Perlman is a massive John Wayne fan. And I like The Searchers. That's my favorite John Wayne movie, but in general, I find him a little stiff, to be honest.
I don't think that's a hot take, especially on this.
Yeah.
All right, that is The Wings of Eagles. Then we've got Broadway Melody of 1938. This is from 1937. This is coming on August 25th. And it says, during Hollywood's golden era, a top-flight MGM musical could be counted on to have bright songs, bright stars, and eye-popping spectacle. Broadway Melody of 38 is a classic example of the extra level of excellence that was the hallmark of MGM's productions. This will have MGM shorts, That Mothers Might Live and Romance of Celluloid, Fitzpatrick travel talk short called Glimpses of Peru, a cartoon called Pipe Dreams from MGM, audio-only MGM Good News of 1938, radio trailer, audio-only musical outtakes and alternate takes, plus a trailer, 4K scan of the best preservation elements. Are you into these classic musicals?
I'm always down to check something out that's sort of outside of my comfort zone. I haven't seen many, but I do kind of find it fascinating that they included the outtakes and things like that. I think that's just for research purposes. If you're ever making a musical, it might be interesting to hear those kind of things.
Beyond that, the fact that Warner Archive is doing things like including vintage newsreels, I think is super important. I love that they're including them. And I even love like going on YouTube and looking up old like 90s commercials and 80s PSAs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right, we've got just a couple more things to talk about. Well, this one's antenna related. Another announcement. Heads up that we are putting out the documentary called "This Is Buzz" from Mark Pellington, the director of.
I love Mark Pellington.
Prophecies. He is the guy that revolutionized basically the entire music video format in the 90s. Directed the Jeremy music video from Pearl Jam and all kinds of other amazing music videos. And in keeping with the radical multimedia nature of Buzz itself from MTV, we are going to take This Is Buzz on a nationwide tour of screenings that go beyond straightforward theatrical engagements. The plan is for musicians and pop culture icons who are featured in the documentary or were a part of Buzz during its heyday to participate in Q&As with Mark Pellington. He's also going to stage something called Analog and Ecstasy in major U.S. cities, presenting the lost transmissions of Buzz, an immersive experience that is fully wraparound all immersive experience, which is going to be incredible. The exhibition will provide a rare chance to revisit the lost episodes of the series for the first time 36 years after they originally aired on MTV and have been lost since then. And a digital release, of course, will come out in a few months if you have not been able to see it in theaters, but that'll be happening in September of this year. And of course, eventually, home video.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm a big Pellington fan. He's one of those filmmakers that I wish he I don't know what opportunities or whatever, but he should have had a massive career. I mean, the movies he's made, some filmmakers you can tell really care about the frame, and he's just so aware of the space. And I love everything he's made. So yeah, big fan.
Today, I had a meeting with Mark, and just kind of blown me away again. I mean, there was a few weeks ago, I was in the middle of something else, and he was calling me, so I had to stop what I was doing, and just to hear, "Hey, Ryan, Mark Pellington," was like, this is so weird. What is my life now that this is happening?
That's awesome.
In just a few minutes after all our announcements, I did want to share this trailer for This Is Buzz, because it is quite a unique trailer, and we'll happily broadcast that for everybody. It's a pretty fantastic one, so we'll talk about that more in just a minute. But next up is the last announcement for the week. Another Warner Archive drop came out today. Looney Tunes Collector's Vault, this one, Volume 3. Now, as usual, this is 50 different Looney Tunes on 2 different discs total. All of these have never been restored and presented on Blu-ray before, and it also includes audio commentaries from animation historians on some of them. Are you keeping up with any of the Looney Tunes releases? Are you into this stuff?
I was when I was a kid. I don't have these collections, but I'm glad that they exist, and I'm glad that Warner Archive hasn't abandoned them or forgotten about them. So that's great.
Yeah, this one looks great. I love that we even got like some of the lesser known characters. Pepe Le Pew's in front and center here, a little bird here in the front. Yeah,
that's great.
Incredible. All right, I'm going to share the This Is Buzz trailer now. I'm going to play that real quick, and then we'll get into a reminder of what is coming out next week. But first...
I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick. I'll be back in a minute.
Perfect timing.
Okay.
In the spring of 1990, MTV unveiled a radical news magazine series.
This is Buzz. Buzz is about people, the future, and change.
It broke the formula.
It was out there. It was avant-garde. It was pushing boundaries.
It transfixed the viewer.
Buzz was like the signal that kind of broke through the ether.
It predicted our future.
We didn't realize that it was actually prophetic.
But after just 13 groundbreaking episodes,
this was doing something that had never been done before.
The show mysteriously vanished.
We weren't ready for Buzz.
If all television was like Buzz, your head would explode.
This is the story of Buzz.
MTV Whiz Kids John Klein and Mark Pellington created this show.
I remember thinking, God, that guy's brain is on fire.
I had been working for ABC News for years.
What I wanted to do was make a thematic collage show. He wanted to do a news magazine show. We put this together.
This is Buzz.
We want the feeling of Buzz to be a hand coming through the TV screen to touch you.
There was a feeling that something new was coming. And then suddenly you saw this thing where in 15 minutes you'd seen more ideas than you'd seen in the last 2 years.
Way to go, condition.
Mark and John had this idea to find out if there was, in fact, a global zeitgeist.
The idea that everybody's different, everybody's the same, really resonated with me.
It's global, so subversive, and we get to see this crazy stuff from all over the world.
We're like kids in a candy store. We took MTV's money and ran.
It sure didn't make the executives at MTV comfortable, and it probably really rattled the cages of advertisers.
Coca-Cola.
Coda?
MTV called us media terrorists.
Fuck them, we're going to make whatever show we want to make, however we want to make it.
It's just mind-boggling it was so fast. MTV is like, I think that's a penis. And I was just fighting to let the show air.
Buzz presented a view of gritty reality, real reality.
We weren't afraid of being dark and raw in our emotional output.
We want you to feel something.
We would give voice to people that were voiceless.
Very rare that a TV program actually turns the page of broadcasting history, and that show unquestionably did.
Could Buzz be made today? I think Buzz is being made today every single day on TikTok and on other media. We were sampling the world, cutting it up, spinning it back in an interesting way. You can do the same thing. And if you do it with passion, energy, and honesty, other people are going to want to see it too.
You said it was an art, so now we're going to rip you apart.
This is Buzz.
What is this information overload doing to us? We just got to pay attention. I think that was the beauty of Buzz TV. It was asking that question right at the right moment.
Looks great, dude.
Hell of a movie. Hope people check it out. It is fantastic.
It looks really good.
As a reminder of what is coming out next week, we are already getting Obsession on 4K and Blu-ray disc next week. HUD 4K from Criterion. Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, 4K from Criterion. The Office Superfan Extended episodes coming out next week. The Crying Game 4K from Criterion. Red Sun 4K from Arrow. Full Contact 4K from Shout from their Golden Princess. Last Summer disc finally coming out from Warner Archive, although I believe, wow, what are we doing there? I believe that might be delayed by a couple weeks, so keep an eye out on that. The Normal 4K with Bob Odenkirk coming soon. Student Bodies 4K from TerraVision has actually started shipping. My God, it has been only 10 months since that was revealed, I believe. So, yeah. If you've had that one on pre-order, you might actually get some shipping notice here soon. We got the Michael 4K from Lionsgate next week. Lee Cronin's The Mummy 4K. Did you see that one?
Didn't like it. Yeah, I watched that. Was not a fan.
Were you into his Evil Dead movie?
You know, God, I don't know if I want to go down there. For me, Ash was Evil Dead, and then these other movies, I don't know. They do what they do well, but I don't know. I miss Ash. That's kind of where I'm at with that. But incredibly well made movie.
I hear you. Howard the Duck 4K Steelbook, if anybody still doesn't have that and is really dying to have it. Soderbergh's The Christophers comes out next week. I'm still dying to see that one. Soderbergh is one of the top 10 or 15 filmmakers for me, so I need to see that one. Crawl 4K Steelbook, Pillion from A24, some Dan to Dan stuff that I've not seen. Tetsuo the Bullet Man from Unearthed, Queen of the Ring from Kino, a couple other smaller films from Kino. Ip Man Kung Fu Legend 4K from Wellgo, and that is the bulk of it. And then I guess I Swear, which is supposed to be pretty great. That is from Sony Pictures Classics. Any that you are dying to pick up or got pre-ordered for next week?
No pre-orders, but actually Red Sun. But I'm gonna wait. I love Red Sun. Speaking of westerns, it's an incredible. Wow, what a cast! That movie's so good. I'm gonna wait for the Arrow sale for. The Barnes & Noble's thing to pick that one up, but I'm dying to grab that one.
Well, and that should be next month, I believe. Should be August.
Mm-hmm.
Usually.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's all we got. Let's talk about some filmmaking.
Okay.
You have had the joy to work on how many films at this point?
You know, it's crazy to say I've lost count because it sounds so stupid, but you kind of do. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, I try to look at that and think of that earlier, but God, I lost count again at 6 or 7, I think. I know it's more than that, too.
I think it's, well, because, okay, so I'm just gonna limit it to directed, because then that'll be a little more concise. Hold on. I've got all these other movies these are already finished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 directed movies.
Got it.
Yes.
9 movies at this point. And what was the first one?
The first one was called The Monster Man. Speaking of DV, we shot on DV. And there's I actually have it here. There is a Blu-ray put out by my buddy Justin DeClue over on his Gold Ninja Video line. So that's pretty sweet. That was very. I felt very humbled by that, and he goes, "Oh, I'd love to put it out." I'm like, "Oh, thanks, man." So yeah, that was the first one.
Nice. And getting started, how did that feel? Getting one under your belt, did that feel like it actually prepared you for a second one?
Absolutely. I mean, look, most filmmakers kind of already know that they're filmmakers. It's weird because you feel like it's already happened, and you're just sort of racing to get to it's already done. I just have to get to the finish line already in terms of being a filmmaker. So as soon as I graduated high school, I just wanted to go straight into making movies. But then they said, my parents were like, you got to do some kind of college. And I did, I acquiesced. We did like a associate's program, film program, just to get something under my belt. But as soon as that was done, I made this movie literally that summer that I graduated, because I just wanted to start making movies. That's the only thing since I was little, the only thing I ever wanted to do was be a part of movies. And I feel very fortunate that I'm able to continue to do that, because there's some people who will never get a chance to even try. And it was incredible to be able to make it in this one. I made it with all my friends, all my buddies that I'm still in touch with, and so it was, to me, the perfect filmmaking experience. Then it gets harder, but that first one is just the golden. You never forget your first time. It's true, and it is when it comes to making movies, man.
Well, that was a lot of really positive adjectives. Is everything as rosy as that sounds with making films in 2026?
Well, no. Nowadays it's very hard, and I don't know if it's even harder, because I we weren't around in any other times. But there's the ease of making movies, and everyone can, for the most part, afford a digital camera package. You can get a Red for a decent price, and you can get some actors who will potentially work deferred pay. Like, actually, yesterday, a friend of mine sent me a movie that he was in. Very kind of introspective drama. It's basically 2 characters in a house. Good performances, but it's one of those movies that's like, it's never going to sell, because there's no market. No studio really knows how to sell that. It's not Florence Pugh and, Brad Pitt. It's 2 unknown actors in a house kind of talking. And that felt like that probably would have done okay in maybe early 90s when like Clerks and stuff was taking off. But nowadays, the market, I mean, you probably know more about the distribution side, but from what I understand, there's got to be elements in it that make it marketable all over the globe. And even if, well, let's even backtrack. Let's say you have a script you really love, and you want a studio to read it. You want a studio to maybe make it. Oh, this is going to be great for Blumhouse, for example. This happened to me, so I'm referencing it. I know someone at Blumhouse. And he's been amazing. He always reads everything I send him. If he kind of connects with the log line. But I've never had anything made at Blumhouse. But he's read it. Hey, this is great. It's just not something we're looking for at the time. There's so many writers that don't even have that in with a big studio to even get read. So you're sort of, it's the ultimate uphill battle, because even if you have an amazing script, how do you get it read? You can do festivals, but sometimes reality is a lot of these festivals are I'm not gonna say scams necessarily, but they're not gonna help you as much as you want them to help you. They'll take your $50, they'll read your script, and maybe give you an award, but that's pretty much it. And the reality is, a lot of agents honestly don't give a shit that you won the New York Underground Script Festival or whatever, So it's really hard. It's really hard to get your foot in the door. So I don't even know how there's things like Obsession. That was the fact that took off the way it did, and under $1 million, great for them. Good for them. But that is, I don't even know what the 0.99999% of indie
it's a
movies.
Once in a generation thing.
Yes, absolutely. That we'll never hear of anything like that anytime soon. Or they'll try it with something else and it'll bomb, and then they'll be like, "Oh, forget it. We're not doing that again." It's crazy.
So nowadays, let's go through the steps, because 2026 is vastly different than 1990. The amount of reading in front of a studio to get a film made that doesn't happen nowadays is something that I think people still have that odd sort of misconception about. So you have a script in 2026 right now, let's say. How are you going about getting that film made?
Well, there's a lot of routes, but and again, there's no correct way. The main thing is, if you have a script and you want to get it made, you have to try and get outside financing, and then you'll run into some different things with financing. You'll want to try to reach out to funding people, but then how do you find the funding people? Well, that's funny because they don't advertise, so you have to sort of connect with other producers or line producers, or maybe people who have produced movies in the past that are either looking for stuff or specifically looking to build a slate. Those are all possibilities. But again, it's all about connections.
Yeah,
exactly. It's all about connections. They're not just going to take some random person and be like, "Oh, a friend of a friend is starting a company. They'd love to read it." Okay, great. But you can't just walk in and say, "Hey, it's me. Take my script," because nobody wants to gamble. Nobody wants to lose money. Nobody wants to use their own money. So it's honestly, it's very difficult unless you go broke with credit cards and stuff and make your own movie. And I will caution some people. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Doing a proof of concept kind of a thing, like here's a short film of kind of what it is. It's a great idea. It's a good tool to have. Just don't spend so much money on it that you're like, "Oh my God, I put my whole life savings into this thing to show what I could do, and then the movie didn't get picked up, and now I've got a $50,000 short film that is just gonna, my mom's gonna watch." So I think it's a great idea to do something like that to show, oh, this person can direct. Oh, I see how the story comes together. YouTube is a good resource. Put some of your stuff on YouTube. That's what's his face, the Obsession guy. Yeah, he started on YouTube. That's a great way to not only cut your teeth, but practice and kind of show what you got. And Milk and Cereal, that came out of nowhere. He didn't even think. He put it on YouTube because no one was taking it, and look what happened. It's really hard, but the goal is you have to find the money. That's the key, and it's just knocking on doors, emailing, and knowing your movie inside and out.
And the hard part with that, you say nobody can take the risk. Sure, you can if you're somebody like Markiplier, who has money and resources and can make his own movie and distribute it himself and do everything himself this year. And then the other aspect of that is he can only do that because he has the built-in fan base. And if you don't have millions of people in your fan base already, it's not going to be the same. So it's not something that can be inspiring, I guess, in that way, because that's not really feasible for most of us.
Oh, absolutely. It's a good movie, by the way. Iron Lung was fantastic, but he spent a lot of money on it, and he gave himself the time and all that stuff. And someone in the comments, Terry mentioned Kickstarter. Kickstarter is a good way, but that becomes a full-time job. Hey, look at my Kickstarter. Hey, check out my Kickstarter. Hey, support my Kickstarter, and that can get annoying fast. One of my good friends, a fellow YouTuber, a cool duder, Sean does that. He uses Kickstarter to fund his movies, and he's been successful with it. But he's got a platform, and he's got people who support him, and he knows people who put money in as well. But Kickstarter isn't always an open, I know so many people that have lost Kickstarters, and it just didn't work out, myself included. So that's not always the easy way. It's just, I don't know. It's worth a try, but don't bank on that being your only way to do it.
Well, and beyond that, it's almost the same thing. If you don't have a whole bunch of people following you, the odds of you getting a sufficient amount of funding just from a Kickstarter, especially after paying for perks and the Kickstarter fees and all that stuff, not super positive outlook on that front. So yeah, make sure you're paying attention to that front. So that's the funding aspect. What about if you're not a writer? What if you're just a director? How do you find a script?
That's interesting. I guess just there's a lot of meetup groups for like writers and things like that. Being a writer director, it's I wouldn't know where to go actually to find a hey, who's writing something. I guess you would just meet up with writers or connect with writers. Again, they say networking. It's 100% true. You can't know anybody until they know you. So you have to, I think the best way is work on sets. Just be a PA, work on sets, get to know everybody, from costume to the directors, to the actors. Get to know everybody, and then just sort of make it known. Hey, I'm looking for a script to direct, and I'm sure there's gonna be at least 2 people on that set that have a script that they're looking for somebody to at least to have a director attached, and maybe you can shoot a short film. So many people, working in film. Some of them love what they do, and they're finding their respective departments. But a lot of people, usually the PAs, are the ones that are like, oh, I want to be a director, or I want to be a writer, I want to be an actor. So I would say start at the bottom, and come up together with the people that are starting up fresh with you.
This is where I'd say something that you said earlier is kind of a good example of this, and that's go to festivals if you can. Mm-hmm. It's a really good place to meet people. It's a good place to see shorts and features, and you can find some, especially if you're a director that is not, writing isn't your forefront. You can find features and shorts that are written well, but maybe aren't made particularly well, and say, hey, we could be sort of complementary here. I feel like you might be able to zhuzh up my ability, and I can zhuzh up yours. So let's hang out, have a talk. And I've seen multiple people meet that way.
Yeah, that's a great way to network and connect with people, because you've seen their proof of concept in a way, and now you can sort of team up for something else.
So what about yourself? What are actual woes of filmmaking in 2026? What are some things causing you some headaches?
Well, I think the biggest issue is it's hard to make a living. That is the truth. It's hard to make a living. It's hard to pay the bills. It's hard to be consistently working. As a filmmaker, you are freelance. You're not, you don't have a constant paycheck. It's and when you do have a paycheck, it's pathetic. But the filmmakers that stick with it and still do it are the ones that have film in their blood and they can't do anything else. Like, I literally was like, during the pandemic, I'm like, can I do something else? What else? Maybe I don't know, maybe I could teach writing. And I was like coming up with different things I could do, because like, maybe this isn't going to work out, man. This is exhausting. But I just kept coming back to movies because I love the process so much, as frustrating as it is. And I found a home at the asylum, and for all the difficulties I have making a movie with them, they support me and they care about me, and they respect me as a filmmaker. And so I put up with the low pay and 6 days to make a feature, because it's either that or I sit at home watching YouTube and playing video games, and I would feel incomplete.
6 days to make a movie.
Yep.
Where to start here? Because obviously This is something I wanted to bring up, but I there's so many people that'll see a film like, and we talked about The Exorcist earlier. This is, it's a real film. It's got 3 acts. It's got proper casting. It's got big names. It's got a score. It's well made. All of that had to be done in 6 days. And that's not a joke. That's not exaggerating. 6 days. So the biggest thing, I think a lot of people don't understand how much when you're a director, you have to truly be able to manage things. This is not just about making choices on a set. How do you feel about that idea?
I mean, I honestly, being a director is the best job in the world, because you kind of get to be the, you're like the ringmaster at a circus, and you're like, and now the elephants, and now the tightropes, which is, it's exhausting, but it's a lot of fun. And when they first told me, oh, it's gonna be a 6-day shoot, I'm like, I'm sorry, how's that even possible? Like, do you know, like the first day, it's just everyone's just like loading in, and we're trying to figure out, like, that's impossible. Honestly, it starts with the script, and since I control the writing, I write it in a way where I'm like, okay, well, all these scenes will happen in one location, and then all these scenes will happen in one location. So I got to make sure I have enough page count so that everything that happens in the girl's bedroom is a certain amount of pages, and then okay, that'll be one day, and then one day over here, and then one day over in this location, and I used to do breakdowns of the script, shot lists and things like that, because I thought it was required. But honestly, as soon as you get into it, you're like, okay, you really have to have the movie mapped out. And by that time, I've written it 3 or 4 times, so I've seen the movie multiple times. I'm there with the actors. The worst part is I don't get enough time with the cast. And luckily you have people like Doug Bradley, who's just a pro. I remember I picked him up at the airport, and I said, "Oh, it's a 6-day shoot." He goes, "Oh, okay." And then how many days after I leave? And I'm like, "No, it's 6." He thought it was only 6 days for him. Right. And I'm like, "No, that's it." He goes, "What?" Like, he couldn't believe it. Like, his mind was blown. And I'm like, "Look, do I storyboard? No, I don't have time for it." And there wouldn't be time to communicate that.
Right.
So you basically have to hit the ground running. I try to get as much, like, we do at least a table read before we shoot. And then I'll give everybody, okay, so when you say this line, this is what this means. Okay, and maybe a little harder than that. Okay, so remember when he comes in, give him a look, and then we'll tweak as we go. Then as soon as you hit location, it's like, guys, we have got to hit the ground running. They say we have 12 hours. We do not, because we have to go through makeup. We have to set up the lights. We have maybe 9 hours of shooting time. And if we have to break down afterwards and like move stuff around, then we got less time than that. We got to hit the ground running. We can't have any, and that's the frustrating part. And I've never really lost my temper on set, but it's just the frustrating part is that time is always against you, no matter what. Especially because you only have 6 days to get everything. And so you run and gun. Okay, so I need 2 cameras. So we're going to get the wide shot here, then a close-up of Doug Bradley. We're going to go through the scene. Now, here's what we're going to do. Put the camera on a slider so we can just move it over here and then aim it at this person. And you got to be running and gunning, making sure that one angle can cover 2 people. Hey, flip around, face this way so we can get your angle from this side so we don't have to move the camera the other way. There's a lot of little tricks you can do to speed up and make sure you got coverage, make sure you get the entire scene because you don't want the movie to be short, and the performance. So there's a lot to keep in mind. And so the fact that Exorcist looks to me like $1 million movie is just a testament to my amazing DP and my incredible cast, because they were with it. Like it's like war. Look, guys, we're going to war. By the end of this, we're gonna be trench buddies. We're gonna be veterans, but we've got to go. And I need you at 100%. And everybody commits because everybody loves to do it, no matter what. And that's the fun part, but it's also the part that kind of breaks you down.
Post is like a completely different thing after all this, obviously, and that's a lot of people that are experts in their field, and that each of those could be another hour-long talk on their own. But the big thing here is we'll just assume all those went perfect, because they always do, I assume. At this point, you've made a movie, and that is one thing. But then the almost more difficult part is getting people to see it and actually making money off of it. And working with the Asylum, you have built-in distribution and already set up there. What all of us that are in this industry, we've heard some horror stories on distribution. What are some things that you've heard about other people facing for distribution? What are some things that you faced yourself that have not been great before you went with the Asylum?
Oh man, distribution in general is tough because every company kind of looks for their own thing. When I was trying to put Monster Man out back in the day, eventually got picked up by Brimstone Media, which doesn't exist anymore, but they're really nice people. But I met with a ton of people. I sent the movie around, and it was one of those things. It's a SOV comedy. There's no nudity. It's just kind of like Scary Movie before Scary Movie was a thing, and so it was weird to find an audience for that. My second movie, Corpses Are Forever, shot on 35mm film. I could say I shot on film, one of the rare ones. And it's a kind of James Bond meets Night of the Living Dead kind of zombie thing. Sent that one around. One distributor was like, "Oh, I wish there were more exploitative elements." He's basically saying because there's no nudity in it, he wishes there was nudity in it. And I get it. I get that's a thing. And then that's how I met Asylum. They picked that movie up and met up with them. But I know so many people that have movies and they either had to put them out themselves or, it just doesn't go anywhere. It never got picked up and they just had to move on and get a day job. I mean, it's crushing. The reality of the financial side of cinema is brutal. I mean, even you can be in a guild, you could be in, you can have awards to your name, but that sometimes means very little. It's really all about the product, and it can be very mercenary out there, which I feel bad for anybody trying to make a movie and they ask me, "Oh, I'm gonna make an independent movie." I'm like, "Okay, good luck, man." I'm not gonna tell you no, but I just in my mind I know the difficulties. Like right now, honestly, I wouldn't want to make an independent movie on my own because I know the hurdles are so big. And with the Asylum, there's the safety net that they've already got it pre-programmed in. They know who they're selling to. For the most part, the movie's already been sold. We just have to deliver it. And there's a relief there to know that people are going to see what you made. It's frustrating, but as RFV says, their luck plays a massive part.
Huge part
in what you do. Yeah.
I mean, really, one person seeing it can change the outlook of somebody's entire career, literally, and has many, many times out in the past. And the hard part too, going back to distribution, is it's hard to find a distributor, but in lots of cases, especially over the last 5 to 12 years or whatever, finding a distributor for some people have tanked their luck with that film too. A distributor could be something that makes or breaks a film and can really cost people money, which is kind of crazy, which is why we're doing the things that we're trying to do with Antenna. But I mean, some of these people, you've heard horror stories of getting into a contract with a distributor and then getting charged $30,000 for marketing that they can't even point to, that never actually happened. Their marketing is like posting on their social media and hoping for the best. And then some of these places, they'll charge you, $4,000 for a trailer, and they'll get some intern to edit together some shitty cut that does nothing and gets 14 views on YouTube, and then you're out even more money on top of what you paid for your film.
Yeah, there's a lot of shady practices out there, which is it's unfortunate. So that's cool that Antenna's looking out for those guys.
So in 2026, all this is done. You got a movie that's out, and you're facing the world of content now. What do you think is the hardest thing in 2026 for somebody in independent film?
Getting work. I think that is the toughest thing because studios are now, after all the strikes and things like that, I think studios now are more careful. Shooting in LA has become a thing where it's not as prevalent. Even the Asylum now it's shooting in different states because of tax incentives and things like that. the hardest thing is letting people know you're here and that you're available and that you want to work and that you're interested in being a part of the machine. That is the toughest thing. It's still hard to get an agent to even give you the time of day. I mean, I won, for example, I won a prestigious film festival. I got on the Blood List, which was a thing back in the day, which was like the blacklist of horror scripts. And, that script had been read by MGM, Sony, all these places. And agent after agent after agent. And they're like, oh, yeah, this is great. What else do you have? And that's still the case. And I said, okay, well, I send them the other thing. And they're like, oh, we like the other one better, so sorry, we're going to pass. I'm like, wait a minute, but you liked one thing. Why can't you? It's ridiculous. So it's still hard to get representation. And even if you have representation, that doesn't mean an open door. Right. Because you're still low man on the totem pole. They're not going to bust their ass for you unless you were, for example, Indy Navarrete in Obsession. They're going to bust their ass for that girl. They're going to make sure she's everywhere now because she has Obsession behind her. So in terms of filmmaking, getting the opportunities, I think, is the hardest thing. And if you have a movie that you want to get out, your only avenue is the same old festivals. And festivals nowadays carry very little sway. I mean, even Sundance. I know somebody who played at Sundance. They're still not distributed. It's topsy-turvy, my friend.
God, even Jim Cummings, he debuted his show at Sundance this year, and he's still probably going to end up distributing it himself. At this point, a big name like him, he's got lots of films under his belt. He's directed films, he's written films, he's starred and done all kinds of stuff. Can play at Sundance, still get nothing. I think last year at a Sundance, only 2 titles got picked up the entire festival. Which very different environment than what Sundance was 10 years ago. Sundance used to be the golden child, and now, I mean, I know multiple films that were signed at tiny festivals this year, and yet Sundance is nothing. And one of the big problems, we talked about scam festivals earlier. The other thing is the big festivals are now studio showcases, and that's kind of what they've turned into, which, God, does that suck. They already have everything built in. That's not what a festival was made to be, ever.
Yeah, it's basically, my movie's premiering at this festival.
Right.
Why do you need that? You don't need that. Come on, man.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
What else? What else are you fighting? What else are you finding the most joy in the process in 2026?
Honestly, it's no matter how hard it is, the fact that I still get hired to make a movie, I'll break it here on the show. I've got 2 movies coming out. Well, they'll be out next year, but shooting this year. One is Exorcist 2. And the other one I'm super excited for. It's called Crocodile, and it is about exactly what you think it is.
Nice.
And the joy just comes from that, just being able to have fun and tell stories and create characters. And I love working with actors. I love being on a set and being a small little sliver part of that magic that I fell in love with as a kid. That's still, it's so worth it. You sit there at the premiere and you watch it with everybody and you reach the completion of it. It's to me it's still worth it. It's one of those things that this is how you know someone's a real filmmaker. You ask them, would you do it for free? And the real ones will always say yes. And I would absolutely do it for free, and I kind of almost do, because I do a lot. It's about 3 months of work, maybe 4 months of work altogether, for what most people might get paid for, like for a month of work. It's pretty teeny, but you have to put the effort in. And there's a lot of filmmakers that get paid the money, they just direct and they walk away and they let post be handled by the producers. I can't do that. That's my baby. I gotta send my baby off to college. That's the job. So I still to this day love the job, no matter how many times it breaks my heart for other reasons, man.
Well, we produced a in-house film this year that's going to be coming out later this year called Organonym with Graham Skipper. And, we've talked about it on the show before, but basically it's about a person who's directing a film, and he has an organ that escapes his body and attacks him because he's going through some stuff. And essentially we're trying to look up taglines that we should use for this film right now. And one thing I want to say about this part that we were just talking about is we are kind of approaching the way that we are going to market this film based on the joy of creating. And the tagline that we're currently leaning towards using is create like your life depends on it, because it does.
There you go. Yeah. And and there you go. It's poetic because there's two reasons. Yeah. There's the plot of your movie, but then in general, that's absolutely true, man.
Hell yeah.
You don't want to regret. You don't want to be, 30 years down the line and go, oh man, I should have tried harder. Man, I should have done this. I should have done that, because there's no going back after a while,
Yeah. Well, that's all I got, I think, for this. Anything else that you want to talk about with creating a filmmaking in 2026?
Man, I think just in general, look, I shit talk the process a lot, but you should know this. If you want to make a movie, no matter the year, if you want to make a movie, then set your sights on doing it, no matter what. But be aware that the end of the rainbow may not be a pot of gold. If you want to make a movie, you will want to do it no matter what. So go ahead and do it. Have fun. Enjoy the process. And meet amazing people. Have amazing experiences. There are highs and lows, but if it's in you, it's in you. No one can tuck you out of it. So allow us to just pat you on the back and say, go do it. But be careful. Make sure that you can afford to feed yourself at the end of the day.
Which is already more difficult because 2026 fucking sucks.
Oh,
so.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. It's probably easier to make a movie if you appeal to a certain demographic. You might be able to get money from certain avenues, but whatever. Follow your heart, I guess.
Well, and it also helps if you have a partner that has a good paying job. So there's that. So
yes, for sure.
On that note, thanks for hanging out. Everybody go check out Jose on Tuesday nights live on his channel, linked in the description below. Japan video coming out soon on physical media that's not like you're thinking. Any last shout outs?
Thanks to everybody watching. It's been an honor and a pleasure. Ryan, thanks so much for having me, man. Let's do it again. It's been a while since I've been on here, so I wanna hang. And then once I make Exorcist 2, I'm going to send you a link, man. I want you to check it out. You're one of the early people to help us out and get the word out, so I appreciate that, man.
Happy to help. And then last thing I'll bring up, Muscle Distribution. Don't forget they've got that Kickstarter going on right now to restore 4 great-looking films. Got a little bit of time left, and they're still looking for some money. So speaking to Kickstarters earlier and the love of that, please go support Liz Purcell and Muscle if you're into it. Other than that, be safe this week. We'll see you all next Thursday. Thanks, Jose. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
See y'all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching The Disconnected. On the way out, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, that you've liked the video, and that you've copied the link to be able to share it with someone else that may appreciate this.
Greetings, welcome to Two in the Pinku podcast. Experience a deep dive into softcore Japanese sexploitation cinema from the 60s up into the present, with an emphasis on sleaze and seduction. We are monthly or bi-weekly, and we're not even bi.
Will pink film save our marriage? Find out on Two in the Pinku podcast.
Thank you for listening.
To hear more shows from the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, please select the link in the description